Hello and welcome. This is Michelle with PaperStampInk. Thanks for stopping by today. I want to share with you some very quick and simple Christmas cards that you can make with the new DistInktive set from Stampin'Up. It's the Stylish Christmas set, and I'm using some of our designer series paper that is actually on the clearance rack right now. So hey, good time to pick that up when you're looking at all of our other designer series paper. By the way, Stampin' Up's having a special this month. If you buy 3 packages, you get the 4th one free. It's on probably about 3/4 of the designer series paper that's out there, and that information is all on my shopping channel. You can link to that website in the link below. I'll have that for you. And if you are looking for some of the items that I am showcasing today, I sure would appreciate your support and love the chance to earn your business as your Stampin' Up representative. Let's go ahead and jump into this card. Oh, and by the way, don't forget to subscribe. Hit that button right down there, the subscribe button, and that will make sure that you get my videos in your feed as I put new ones out. It's also, if you tap that bell, then that's going to make sure that you get notified whenever a new video is loaded, so you'll know right away when something's out there. So let's get started with our paper, stamp, and ink for this card. I'm going to set those aside. So paper, I'm using a card base, and I've got that at 5.5 by 8.5 folded in half to form our card base. A piece of shaded spruce that is cut at 4 by 5 1/4, and then a piece of that designer series paper that is 5 1/8 by 3 7/8, just to give us a slim border around there. Now this paper is double-sided, as all of the designer series paper is, so the other side has this cute Deck the Halls paper on it, or design on it. So I decided I like this one. I was going to go ahead and utilize this one. As you probably noticed to my cards that I had at the beginning, I used both sides of those to create these cards, and I also did play around with using circles versus the squares. It's up to you. I have another sample here that I did where I thought, I don't know, circle, square, how about we do a square with rounded corners, and that's a compromise. So here's how that looks. You may think this one looks a little odd. I did this one up to showcase the different ways of filling the center of that poinsettia using the sequins, coloring them in, or putting some glue on and sprinkling glitter. So there's a variety of ways that you can do that on this card. Leave that up to you, or you can come up with probably some other great creative ways to do that. So let's get back to that's our paper, and our stamp set is the Stylish Christmas. Now this has what's called the DistInktive stamps in it, and what that means is this, you see how some of these are darker and some are lighter? That's all designed into the rubber of the stamp. So it's going to automatically give you that dimension when you stamp, which is great. I love that. Makes my job so much easier when I'm making cards. And I like easy, I like simple. So we are going to be using the swirl from that, the poinsettia, the leaf, and I'm using the sentiment, may the beauty and joy of this season fill your heart. Those aside. And for the ink, I'm using Real Red and our new Return Color Shaded Spruce. And so those are the 2 colors that I'm using. And then the other couple of items they have is I did use our stitch die circles to go ahead and die cut out the shaded spruce matting. And then I used our circle framelits, layering circles, to cut the one that we're going to do our stamping on. So now that we've got all of our pieces, the other couple pieces I have in there, I guess I should mention, are the dimensionals and the sequins. There we go. Got to get that word out there. So let's go ahead and get started making our card. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp on this first before we do our layering, and I'm going to use the real red for the poinsettia. And when I have these larger stamps, I like to take my ink pad to the stamp. I just find that easier to do. And don't forget to go ahead and stamp off the corners or the edges when you're doing this. You don't have to get that whole piece on there. And rotating your stamp when you're stamping down will also make it not look quite so set up and make it look more natural. And so I'm going to go ahead and put this one on as well. And then we're going to add in our leaves for the poinsettias. And I'm just going to kind of sporadically put those around there. If they overlap, that's okay. Now I have to tell you, I got inspiration for this card from a fellow demonstrator, Kay Caps. So Kay, thank you for the inspiration. She took this and she actually kind of antiqued her paper a little bit to give it a different look, and then did some sponging on the sentiment pieces. I believe, if I remember right, she used the Jingle Bell portion of this, and did some embossing as well with wet embossing. I wanted to go a little simpler, and you know what? I forgot to put the swirl on my sample cards, didn't I? And we're going to go ahead and do that, though, on this card. I've already got it stuck down, but that's okay. And come back in. It does add another fun look, and as you can see from the samples, you really don't need that in there, but it is a pretty little extra element on there. So I'm just going to go ahead and stamp that right on there. Now, we're actually almost done with this card. How quick is this thing going together? I'm going to go ahead and put the base on using my Tombow Mono Multi glue, my favorite. And then I'm going to, well, I've got the glue out. Let's go ahead and put our dots down here and put the sequins on. Whoops. Runaway sequin. There we go. And now all we have to do is get our sentiment added on. I'm going to set those sequins off to the side. And I'm going to come back in with my real red for that sentiment. You know what I love about circle sentiments? Is you don't have to worry about getting it in a straight line. That's one of the benefits. Maybe that's why I use circles a lot. I thought it was just because it was pleasing to my eye, but maybe there's an ulterior motive there. So who's started on your Christmas cards? Why don't you give me a thumbs up if you're already starting on your Christmas cards for this season. I'm sure that there are people who have been working on them all year round. They're much more proactive than I am. I'm feeling pretty good about getting a start on them in July, though, and looking how quickly these can go together, especially if you assembly lined them. They're going to be that much faster to get them put together. And look at that. There we have our card. So again, don't forget to subscribe and then hit that bell notification, and you'll be notified every time I put a video in the feed. I sure would love your business as well if you're looking for Stampin' Up! Products, and I will have the link for that in my video or my description below. Thanks, and keep creating. You have a great day.